This list is based on my personal experience playing this game for the last 3 years. Please take it with a grain of salt. In general, I suggest that you work on your main heroes first and then slowly add new heroes. This video is meant to help you with this process. In 5th place is Isaac. He has a unique skill which allows him to absorb a portion of any magic damage. This damage charges his ultimate skill, which silences all enemies for 4 seconds. Even better, Isaac's ultimate skill also deals considerable damage thanks to his 4th skill. Against some mage teams, it is possible to defeat them with an Isaac team that has less than a third of the team power. To do this, you have to combine Isaac with Dorian, in whom you really don't have to invest much for this. In fact, Isaac is so strong against most magic heroes that it's rare to find a defending mage team in Gold League or Clash of Worlds battles. Isaac excels not only in PvP, but also in PvE. In the hardest of all PvE fights, the level 160 Ashe fight in Asgard, Isaac is even used as the main tank in all meta teams. If you want to know how this player dealt over 680 million damage in the level 160 fight against Ashe, check out the video I linked in the description. Since the last Winterfest, however, there has been a new disadvantage for Isaac, Polaris. Her 3rd skill lowers Isaac's chance to silence enemies. But more importantly, Polaris' 4th skill stops Isaac's energy gained for 3 seconds, which can be extended by various methods. We will go into more detail about Polaris later in this video. However, even in the presence of Polaris, Isaac is still a force to be reckoned with, as you can see in the on-screen battle. Therefore, in my opinion, Isaac rightly deserves 5th place in this ranking. In 4th place is Arachne. Her 1st skill is a great tool to stun multiple enemies for 5 seconds. Actually, if the enemy team is grouped together, it can even stun the whole team. Arachne's 2nd skill adds another stun to her toolset. Stuns are generally amazing because, firstly, stunned heroes can't move or attack, and secondly, they can't dodge incoming attacks or skills. What makes Arachne's stuns even deadlier is the fact that you can use Mara for her patronage effect, which increases the duration of the stuns by up to 200% at maximum patronage power, which is quite costly though. Then again, even a Mara with lower rank increases the duration of any crowd control effect by a considerable amount. However, you have to get her to at least purple rank to use her patronage skill.
If you think she's so strong, why didn't you put her in 1st place?
Welcome, Iris. Well, there is a delicate matter. Arachne's biggest weakness is Sebastian's ultimate, which completely blocks Arachne's stuns.
Oh, that is indeed tricky.
To make matters worse, Sebastian enters the fight with a high amount of energy, which allows him to activate his protection shortly after the fight begins.
Wait, how about Polaris?
Good point. Polaris is indeed a great help for Arachne. Her 3rd skill decreases the level of skills like Sebastian's ultimate by 10. This allows Arachne and other control heroes to ignore Sebastian's protection with a chance of 71.4%. If you want to learn more about Polaris' game-changing 3rd skill, I highly recommend watching my earlier video on Polaris linked in the description. Even before the arrival of Polaris, Arachne was one of the top heroes in the game. But this year, I believe she will rise to even greater glory.
Girls simply rule.
Some do for sure, like my wife. Back to the 3rd place, which is occupied by Celeste. In my opinion, Celeste is the most adaptable hero in the game because she can switch between her light and dark form many times during a fight. She starts the battle in her dark form, in which her basic attacks deal magic damage and she prevents enemy healing. This skill has great side effects like it counters Astaroth's resurrection skill. However, I find Celeste even more powerful in her light form, which she changes into by activating her ultimate ability.
Sorry for the interruption. May I ask you to hit subscribe? This video has taken 20 hours to create over the last 2 weeks. If you subscribe, it's really a sign that it's worth the effort.
By the way, Celeste is the only hero who can use the ultimate skill with 50% energy. In light form, her basic attacks heal, and she casts a Purifying Sphere which heals over time and also clears negative effects including Yasmin's poison. The Purifying Sphere also blocks negative effects for 4 seconds. For this reason, Celeste can be quite helpful against control heroes like Arachne. Both Arachne's ultimate stun and Celeste's blocking sphere target the hero with the least health left. As you can see on the screen, this results in Arachne trying to stun Celeste, who has just placed her sphere on herself. Celeste has therefore just blocked Arachne's deadliest weapon. I believe Celeste will still be a top hero in 2024 because many players will be looking for ways to improve their defense against control teams. For this, we need to quickly talk about Polaris and Sebastian, another top 5 hero. Before Polaris entered the game in December 2023, Sebastian's ultimate skill worked great on its own, protecting the entire team from almost every control effect. But nowadays the protective part of Sebastian's ultimate is soft-countered by Polaris' third skill, which gives Sebastian's protection a 71.4% chance of failing. The part of Sebastian's ultimate that removes debuffs is not weakened by Polaris. However, this part alone is not enough to defend against control teams, as Sebastian cannot use the skill when he himself is stunned. That's why I think Sebastian and Celeste are a great combination against control teams, because if one of them is stunned, the other can remove the stun. They are even better against control teams if you add Chorus as team pet, as he gives a decent chance to block most control effects.
Wait. What is the point?
The point is that Celeste and Sebastian were top 5 heroes before Polaris, and they still are after Polaris entered the game. We haven't even talked about Celeste's other strengths yet. One of the reasons she's been a top 5 hero for quite some time is that she can use 4 pets that can enhance her skill speed, damage, healing, and defense. This also gives your team flexibility. Maybe one day you decide to add a new hero to your main team. It's quite a relief to find out that the pets you've invested so much in still fit into your new team, because Celeste can just switch to another pet. Celeste is also unique in that her ultimate ability only costs 50% energy. This means that she can use it twice when she has 100% energy, giving your other heroes a huge magic attack boost. As you can see on the screen, Orion deals 66,000 damage per hit without Celeste's boost. When Celeste uses her ultimate twice, Orion's damage increases to 111,000 per hit. That is an increase of 67%. For all these reasons, I think Celeste is the third best hero in the game. You may have already guessed who is in second place: Sebastian. Before Polaris was introduced, I had Sebastian in first place. But Polaris' third ability has hurt him so much that he has slipped to second place. If you watch my videos on Polaris, you might understand why I think Sebastian still is almost as useful against other players as he was last year. He excels not only in PvP, but also when fighting bosses, as his second and third skills and also his artifact buff greatly increase the damage of heroes who deal physical damage. On first place is Aurora, who recently got new Ascension skill upgrades. These upgrades, along with the introduction of Polaris, who increases magic damage, make Aurora a really dangerous tank these days. And Aurora was already one of the best tanks before this, thanks to her great skills and also her dodge artifact buff that benefits the entire team against physical attacks. Aurora also is a great tank against magic teams thanks to her fourth skill, which absorbs 85% of magic damage and then explodes and deals magic damage to nearby enemies. In battle, you can see a second bar below Aurora's health bar. When this second bar is full, Aurora's shield explodes and deals considerable magic damage to the enemy front line. Note, however, that the excess magic damage from the hit that filled the shield bar will hit Aurora. As a result, the shield actually absorbs less than 85% of the total magic damage during the battle. This is just a small detail. It's still a fantastic ability against magic teams. One of the biggest threats to Aurora is Iris Ultimate, which allows all enemy heroes to hit Aurora regardless of her dodge and armor. Because of this and her good damage, survivability, and selection of pets, you could argue that Iris is also a top 5 hero. If I'm honest, the reason I didn't put Iris in the top 5 is the fact that it's extremely difficult for a large portion of the player base to get Iris Soul Stones. If you can summon Iris even with just 2 stars, I highly recommend using her, as she really is a top-tier hero. If you push me, I would put Iris at first place on this list and kick Isaac off. There is one more hero that could be on this list, Polaris. I've decided not to include her because she's such a new hero that it's too early to tell how good she'll be. However, I am sure that she will have a big impact on which teams are favored in PvP. I recommend you watch my Polaris videos to be prepared for anything that comes your way.
I hope this was helpful. If so, please subscribe and check out this playlist for even more secrets.
And thanks to the members of Whiterun for their ongoing support.